Minecraft's inventory has been a huge problem amongst the player base for years, so today I'm going to attempt to beat the game with my inventory key unbound. The only slots I can use to hold items are the 9 in my hotbar. If I pick up an item and it doesn't fit, it's gone forever. To beat the Ender Dragon, I'll have to juggle limited hotbar slots, avoid losing important items, and make impossible decisions as I progress. So let's jump straight into the challenge and see if I can beat Minecraft with no inventory. Okay, so first step is to grab some wood and craft some basic tools. And we should probably throw away some of the stuff we don't need. Wait a minute. If I can't access my inventory, I can't craft anything. Not even a crafting table. No sooner had the challenge started, I'd already ran into my first problem. No inventory means no 2x2 crafting grid, and without that, I couldn't even make the basic tools for survival. My only option was to find a naturally spawning crafting table somewhere in a structure, which meant it was time to start exploring. Looks like we're gonna have to find ourselves a naturally spawning crafting table, but where can we find one of those? I think I remember seeing one in a desert village before, so maybe we could try there. So I guess we're off to find a desert then. So with that, the challenge was back on track, at least for now. We had an idea on where we could find a crafting table, so now all we had to do was get to a desert, find a village, and get that crafting table. It took a lot of walking, and we nearly ran out of hunger, but eventually we found what we were looking for. So I've been walking for what feels like forever, as you can probably tell from my coordinates and my hunger. But we finally found a desert village, and just in time as well, the sun is going down. I also passed a desert temple as well, so maybe we can have a look at that after we find a crafting table. So let's just check all of these houses for a crafting table. There's not a crafting table in here, but there is a chest. I think I'll take the bread and maybe the wheat as well. Obviously, we've got to really carefully manage our inventory slots so that we don't lose any of our items. And there we go, there's a crafting table just in this house right here. This was huge for our progression. Now we have a crafting table, we can finally get this challenge started. Not only do we now have access to crafting, we can even change the order of the items in our hotbar, which is super useful for managing our limited inventory. A block that is already essential in every survival world just got a whole lot more important. So as long as we don't lose it, we can put our full focus into progressing through the game. So let's start by making some of that bread and turning all of this into planks and some sticks. And we'll make a pickaxe and a sword. And I think I'll take this crafting table with us. And as you can see, our hotbar is already really full. So that just shows how tricky this challenge is going to be. But I think now we're going to grab some of these hay bales right here and craft them up into bread. So I don't think I'm going to need all of this bread. So I'm just going to keep a stack and throw the rest on the ground to save some inventory slots. And we can keep going now. So I think our next step is going to be to get ourselves some iron for a bucket to make a nether portal at a lava pool. And that golem right there is looking pretty tempting as a source of iron. So, boop. There we go. There's some iron. You saw nothing. So let's turn these iron ingots into a bucket. And say rest in peace to this cactus. So we're going to pick up the crafting table. And we're going to try and find ourselves some stone to upgrade our tools. So now we've got some cobblestone. Let's craft ourselves some better tools. Like a sword, a pickaxe, and a furnace. Oh, hang on, wait. I probably shouldn't break that crafting table. Because if it goes into my inventory, we're going to lose that forever. So let's drop that stuff down the cliff. And now we can safely pick up our crafting table. That was close. We nearly lost the crafting table. But after that close call, we were in a great position to head to the Nether. We just needed to find a lava pool to make a portal to take us there. After a bit of exploring and mistaking the light from a sea pickle for a lava pool, we eventually got lucky. Ooh, we've come across another village. Oh, what's this? Oh, we finally found a lava pool. Oh, this was not good. Most of my items had just gone straight into the lava, but luckily the Minecraft gods were on my side because my crafting table had somehow survived. If that was gone, it would have been game over. Now I just had to get back to whatever items were left before it all despawned. Well, oopsie. I don't know what happened there. I forgot to press shift. Let's see if we can go back there and find our items. I think I know where I died. My crafting table. At least the crafting table survived, but as for the rest of it, only the bed and the furnace survived, so not as bad as it could have been. Unfortunately, the bread didn't survive, but looks like there's some hay bales over there, so we should be able to rebuild. It was only a minor setback, so let's see if we can grab this without any issues. Yep. Oh, and our water bucket didn't survive either, but hopefully there's a golem in this village that we can... Yep, there's one over there. So hopefully we can grab some iron off of him. And if we need to, we can always go into a cave, which might be tricky because of our limited inventory slots. But anyway, I'm going to get back to where we were before, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so we are pretty much back to where we were before. So I think our next step is to have take 2 with that lava pool and hopefully not fall in it again. That was really stupid of me. But we should now be able to make ourselves a nether portal. So I'm not massively confident with this, and we are going to be picking up all of these blocks here, but we shouldn't need them. So I think I'm going to drop these planks over here because they are flammable. So they're not going to be as really helpful. Jeez, I was about to walk on top of that. Let's take the more safer option and use some blocks from... Oh, wait. Does that mean I can't pick up cobblestone anymore? Because I think there's cobblestone in my inventory and it's all stacking into there. Yeah, look, it's all stacking into that area there. So I guess we need to either mine up a stack of cobblestone or find ourselves a different block to use that isn't going to be flammable while we try and make this nether portal. I think I'm just going to mine up an entire stack of cobblestone so that it no longer stacks with the ones in my inventory. So I'll see you guys in a second. There we go, we've got over a stack now and we can carry on collecting cobblestone now. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more because I'm not sure how much you actually need to make the supporting blocks for the nether portal. I'm going to try and do the speedrun strategy. But I'm no speedrunner, so this is probably going to be an epic fail. But we don't have to worry about doing it fast, so we can just take our time and try and make ourselves this nether portal. So I think if we place a block here and then put our water bucket down and then mine this block here, we should have the bottom of our nether portal. And then we have to make some funky stone pillar thing. So I think I'm going to have to search this up on the internet because I don't remember how to do it. Okay, so we need to come to the right side of the portal and build up 3 blocks and then place a block here and then do 2 blocks there. And then we need to put the water there and hopefully it flows and doesn't flood the place. Nice. And then we can just build up our nether portal. Okay, I'm not actually sure how you do this, but do we just do that and then that? Okay, I think we can get rid of our water now, and there we go. We've successfully made a nether portal. All we got to do now is light it up and then we can head on into the nether. So we got some iron ingots, we just need some flint. There we go, we got some flint. So let's head back to the village and make ourselves a flint and steel and go to the nether. Do flint and the iron. And now we've got ourselves some flint and steel. And I think now we can light up the portal. Before we went to the nether, I decided to make one last preparation and go mining for iron to make some armor. Surviving the nether was already going to be difficult with my tiny inventory, so I needed all the protection I could get. The cave was full of mobs, so we had a few close calls, but eventually we made it out with full iron gear, meaning it was finally time to enter the nether. Ooh, there's a creeper in here! Jeez. That was interesting. Looks like we had a bit of a visitor when we entered the portal. Somehow we didn't die, even though we were probably point blank range with it. I think I managed to hit it away from us a couple of times. But luckily, we kept the flint and steel. So we're not stuck in the nether. So I think we should just try and find a nether fortress. We are in a soul sand valley though, so I would like to get out of here as quick as possible. So I think I'm going to head in this direction. Finding a nether fortress was never going to be easy. With no real way to track one down, I picked a direction and hoped for the best. After what felt like forever of tunneling through the nether, dodging gas, and trying not to get burned by lava again, I finally spotted it. Okay, what is going to be our game plan for this fortress? Maybe just the same as usual, hold forward and hope for the best. Let's go. Okay, well, we officially made it onto the fortress, but it's just going to be a question of can we get the blazers. Okay, we've got 7 blaze rods. I'm not sure how many we really need, though. Okay, maybe 7 will be enough, I think. Okay, let's just take a breather. We've got all the blaze rods we need. We just need pearls, and then we can head to the end. Okay, one thing we do need is a new iron sword. Luckily, we still have the iron. But I think it should just be as easy as grabbing ourselves some wood from here. Look at our inventory. This is all stuff we just can't use. Okay, if we do this and this, we can save space by crafting that together. Okay, we now have a completely full inventory, and there's a hoglin after us now. I don't know if he can fit in here, though. There we go. We got the little porker. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's chuck away the sticks. And hopefully... Actually, we're going to grab the pork chops first. Chuck them away. And then grab the crafting table. So we can guarantee that we get it. All we've got to worry about now is the ender pearls, which we can hopefully get decently easily from the warped forest over here. I think if we're careful, we should be able to get a lot of ender pearls pretty quickly. Okay, I did just hear an enderman. He's right there, so we should be safe from Mr. Enderman over here and his big long arms that he could probably just grab us with, but he just doesn't. Oh, there's another one. There we go, we got a pearl. Oh, there's another enderman. Hello, buddy. Come on. Another ender pearl. Nice. We've got 4 now. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick montage of me collecting ender pearls. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Once we have enough to make all of the eyes of ender that we need to find the stronghold, go to the end, and get that ender dragon. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so as you can see by my sword and pickaxe not loving me at the moment, I've managed to get myself 15 ender pearls, which should be way more than enough to go to the end. So now all that's left to do is try and make our way back to the overworld. There's the portal. Nice. We finally made it back. Let's go back in as quickly as we can. Let's try and safely make it out of here. Nice. So we've officially made it back to the overworld with all of the stuff we need to go to the end. So let's put down our crafting table and craft ourselves up. Oh, hang on, we need blaze powder. Not me forgetting how to make eyes of ender. So there we go. We now have 15 eyes of ender, and we probably don't need this blaze powder. Oh, and the rain stopped. Nice. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to grab ourselves just a couple of extra little bits of iron to get a new sword and pickaxe that we can use for the ender dragon fight. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second once we've got the iron and it's smelting. Okay, so I got the iron smelted, and we now have a new iron sword and pickaxe, and I also got myself some new boots, just for some extra protection. So let's grab ourselves the crafting table and the blast furnace, which I found from a villager house, and let's chuck our first Eye of Ender. Okay, so it's going to go off in this direction, so I'm going to travel for about 1,000 blocks in this direction before chucking another one, and then we can figure out where the stronghold is. Now I'd survived the Nether and made it out with plenty of Eyes of Ender. All that was left to do was follow them and find the stronghold. Despite a few mistakes along the way, the challenge had gone surprisingly well so far, and for the first time, it felt like I was finally on the home stretch. I got a little unlucky with the stronghold being over 3,000 blocks away, but eventually the eyes went downwards, which meant I'd finally found it. Okay, now we're in the stronghold. Let's find that portal room. So I think I'm going to go this way. Wow, it keeps going down. Okay, a lot of spaces to go. Wait, is that it right there? Oh, that was easy. We found the portal room really quickly. Nice. Okay, let's kill these silverfish. I think I'm just going to break the spawner. It might be easier. And we already had 2 Eyes of Ender in already, so let's just put the rest in. And there we go. The end portal is completed. So let's just set our spawn point right here. So I'm probably going to need some blocks, actually. So I think I'm just going to rip up some of this stronghold for these stone bricks. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a second once we've got about a stack of stone bricks. Okay, so now we've got a stack of stone bricks. I think we are finally ready to jump inside this end portal and take on the Ender Dragon. So wish me luck, guys, and let's go! Quick heads up before we get into the fight, my microphone audio got completely messed up for this section, so I'll have to speak from the future for this part of the video. But this was by far the hardest part of the entire challenge. I had no room for a bow and arrow, so the only way to destroy the end crystals was to pile up with blocks and break them with my fist. What I didn't know was just how unprepared I was for this. I hadn't brought nearly enough blocks, so my pickaxe was in no shape to mine enough endstone to climb up all the pillars. Before I knew it, I was stranded in the end with no blocks and no pickaxe, meaning I was left with one final option to complete this challenge. I had to use my water bucket to swim up the pillars and hope the Ender Dragon didn't knock me off. It took a while and I had a close call with an Enderman, but eventually we destroyed the crystals and the real fight could begin. And as if things couldn't get any worse, I also ran out of food. That left me stuck on just 2.5 hearts for the rest of the fight, so I had to lock in and play it safe. I had to dodge every attack and avoid eye contact with Enderman at all costs whilst waiting for the dragon to perch so I could land hits with my sword. With each perch, the dragon's health slowly started to drop, and then it finally fell. The Ender Dragon was defeated and I had survived. All that was left to do was jump into the portal and watch the credits roll. And with that, I had officially beaten Minecraft without ever opening my inventory. Honestly, Minecraft's inventory seems fine to me. I didn't even need it to beat the game. But seriously, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. It took a ton of time to make and I enjoyed every second of it. So if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content on the channel. I highly recommend you try out this challenge for yourself. It really gets you thinking about what items you actually need to progress. But anyway guys, I'm Ninja. I hope you have an amazing day and I'll see you in the next video.